Now live.
89.5 WSKB.
From the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient foot banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. know, Jay, I think Bob could talk if he unmuted himself, and then we could hear him.
Wait, we can help this. Wow, it's Tuesday.
There, I have unmuted.
Now we can hear you. Look, it's magic.
Good morning, Mr. Plass.
Can you hear us, Bob?
Yeah, yours. This is very interesting. I can hear Jay perfectly, but Peter Coles, the kid of the keys. There's a key there that is stuck or something, Peter.
What? And, you can't hear me?
You're kind of like you're muted, not muted.
I'm muted?
You sound like you got a cold.
I got a cold. Well, I might have a cold. My allergies are bad. I had allergies went away for a while, and now it's like the second wave of allergies is here because, man, I stopped taking the allergy pill for a while.
Oh, don't say second wave.
And yesterday I was hurting. I was hurting bad. It was bad.
Really? Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was not bad yesterday, except both. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do this properly. Wow, it's Tuesday. It is June 23rd, 2020 and counting. And I am here Zooming from my sumptuous living room. And to my left in the studio is our Crusty, Dusty, Lusty, Musty, and Crusty sidekick, who's also well modulated. And actually, he just came off the range. He's got his bandana around his neck, and he just got off.
He held up a Frito-Lay driver
and is right there.
Why? Yes,
it is Jay Pegluka. Hi, Jay.
Good morning.
Hello, Jay.
I said good. Oh, I see. Now you can hear Peter, but you can't hear me.
No, I could. Oh, yeah, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I says thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome. What it is
and the little person in the little box there is Peter Coles, who is here. He is the kitten of the keys, and whoever. I'm tired of making up names for Peter, so I am officially announcing that unless I come up with a super cat, how do you like that for a word? Super cat for him. Just off the top of my head, I'm not straining. I'm not straining at all during this period. Now, I've decided not to strain.
You don't want to flex your mental muscles?
What is that?
Flexing your mental muscles?
I'm going to flex my mental muscles. But, we've been on the air for 5 years. How many J's are there in the world? I mean, like June, the jumping joystick.
Jumping Jehoshaphat of June. The jumping Jehoshaphat of June.
Jumping Jehoshaphat of June. June's jumping Jehoshaphat.
There you go.
Jehoshaphat is a biblical word, isn't it? Isn't he a character in the Bible?
I think so, yeah. I think you're correct,
We went through this before and did all the research, and I can't remember a bit of it. So.
Yeah, why he was jumping. We want to know why he was jumping. Jumping Jehoshaphat.
Hey, before
maybe Danny Nason, who is our resident answerer out there, will find out for us.
Fact checker. Hey, while you're thinking of the correct answer for that, I want to thank Westfield on Weekends and, of course, you, Bob, for helping to sponsor the drive-in up at the Westfield Boys and Girls Club this past Saturday.
Well, we want to thank the Boys and Girls Club, and Bo Sullivan in particular. They worked so hard for the drive-ins on Saturday.
Time. It was a really good time.
Yeah, and Gaslight Entertainment. Let's not forget you.
Wow, he helped.
I saw your banner there. You're the one that came up with the idea.
Well, I come up with a lot of ideas. I won't say they're all good, but no. In this case, it's everybody jumped right on this. Of course, Bo and Bill from down at the Boys and Girls Club were a huge part of helping to make this happen. All of their folks from the Boys and Girls Club. They had a lot of volunteers that helped us. They even had a few of the kids walk around with 2 carts, one with soda and one with a whole bunch of candy. So it was just like the movies, and you could buy it off the cart as they walked.
Did they do well in the sales of those?
Yeah, they did okay. I think, and it was in this case it was a free movie thanks to a lot of sponsors that stepped up. They're going to have 2 more.
Oh yeah, really?
The third Saturday in August.
Yes.
and July, third Saturday in July and August. That was it.
Right.
And don't know what the titles are yet, so we'll have to work on that. You have to arrange to get the rights to run these. But the guy that came in with the screen, I didn't think it was going to be big enough, but I walked all the way to the back of where the last cars were, and it was cool. It was just like being at an old-fashioned drive-in.
Really? Well, when I left, I ran over to put up the banner, or to make the banner a little bit more sturdy, and I noticed him, and he was blowing up the screen. Is that right? I mean, that sounds like
that's exactly right. Imagine a bounce house, and it's just the thing was structured so that it held up a big flat white screen. So the surrounding black around it was a big air tube, probably at least a foot in diameter, maybe a little more, foot and a half in diameter air tube, and the whole thing was canvas. It weighed about 600 pounds. I know because
my gosh,
roll it back to
well, it didn't take him long to blow it up, because I was there at 7 o'clock, and what was it, like 40 minutes to blow it up or something? Or?
Yeah, half an hour, an hour, he was all set up and ready to go. The only thing you couldn't adjust was the picture, because it had to get dark before you get the picture on the screen. So thank you for your introduction. That was a nice little intro.
Oh, thank you. We had fun. Kenny Stomsky and I take the little be safe kind of thing from Westfield on weekends, and saying how we're yearning to get back, but we want to get back safely and responsibly. So, of course, the concerts aren't happening this summer, and we're talking about Pumpkin Fest, but the more we think about it, I think it will be a reimagined Pumpkin Fest without huge crowds. I'm so worried about the crowd situation that's been happening around the world. So we're talking on that one, and we'll see.
Many things.
I wanted to ask Jay. I went on Facebook and I saw some pictures. Were there some cars whose were not looking at the screen? I mean, the cars drove in, and the Boys and Girls Club had mapped out each separate place for cars to be. Is that right?
Yeah. So imagine a parking lot, and every other space had a car in it, so that you could if you wanted to get out of your car, you owned the space to one side of your car. So it was your car, and that one space was yours. So your family could hang out there and stuff.
But am I right that there were some cars that were facing the wrong way? There were pictures of cars that were facing the wrong way, and I thought, I don't understand this.
Well, that was for people. That was for people.
Swivel chairs in their cars. What is this?
Yeah, that was for people with eyes in the back of their heads. No, that was for the mothers, all the mothers, because we know the moms have eyes in the back of their heads, right?
Yeah, really.
What a lot of them did is flip the cars around, or even the trucks, and they opened the back hatch and put the beds down in the back, and all the kids kind of hung out in the back on little mattresses and pillows, and
that was it.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't figure that out.
They brought.
So they had sort of what do you call those, hatchback parties, or like a trunk part? What do you call those things at football games?
Had a trunk monkey.
What do you call those? You drive into a football game and you put down the
tailgate parties. Yes, tailgate parties.
Tailgate parties.
Yes.
So this was tailgate movie gazing, huh?
Yeah.
How many cars did you guys fit in there?
We found a few things that we want to improve.
Yeah, of course.
It was nice because we talked to people, got a lot of feedback. Most people, without a doubt, just loved it. Of course, it was such a unique experience for most. Nobody. If you think about it, if we had there were a little over 100 cars, and if every car had at least 4 people in it, and I'm pretty sure it did from what I saw walking
Except
around.
for there was one. Do you remember we were talking there, and a car drove up with an 80-year-old man and an 80-year-old woman sitting in the front seat. Weren't they cute? And I thought, they're on this date. They're going to the movies, and they're my age. And and fearless.
There's nothing wrong with that. They wanted to reminisce, and I'm sure, now I didn't watch. I was polite, but I'll bet they were making out the whole night. So, no,
Did you see any making out, incidentally? I mean, I don't remember. I don't think my father allowed us to go to the snack bar or to the playground at the drive-ins without being accompanied, just in case he had to, move our heads so that we didn't see some action that we didn't need to see.
It was more like getting lost on the way to and on the way back. You let me over to the concession stand, and I don't come back because I still have money in my pocket, and I won't stop buying stuff,
Yes, yeah. But it was a great movie. It was Secret Life of Pets. Did you learn anything about their secrets?
Secret Life of Pets 2. So... And actually, it was a fun movie, and it was just.
And
perfect.
Could you hear if you were sitting outside of your car?
Everybody had. We broadcast on an FM frequency that was empty locally here, so that's what they do. So you can hear just low power FM, so you can hear it in your car, and it doesn't travel much beyond that field anyway.
Yeah.
But it was just right, and everybody. And if you think about it, today's car radios are pretty impressive, so the sound quality was pretty good. And even a couple of local families that lived right around there, they even came out with their kids and sat in blankets at the back of all the cars. They came out and sat in the back of the cars, and they. And
that's where I take Frankie to walk a lot of days. I walk that field and I count, so I know it's 300 by 400 by 300. That 400 is the diagonal. And then it's 400 and another one. I mean, I walk that whole space.
It's actually 600
That's where Frankie poops, but I pick it up.
Okay.
I was going to say, watch out for landmines.
Too much information, Bob.
No, but I pick it up.
Yeah,
there's a big sign there that says "No dogs allowed."
Right.
And I
you violate the rules. That's not a law. That's just rules.
There are no kids out there playing, so I don't have to worry about it. But now we're putting movies out there. Maybe I should.
We're doing movies. Pick it up. Yes. Okay. Make sure we clean up after our pets. Hey, one of the things we told that story to tell this one.
Oh boy.
And this is just a tease because I don't have a lot of detail yet. But one of the promoters that I work with, in fact, it's the guy that I just worked with to do the Beatlemania show up at the high school back in January. We work together all over New England doing benefits for high school bands and things and the like. We met yesterday over in that field, and he wants to bring a live drive-in concert to that field. A portion of the proceeds to benefit the Boys and Girls Club.
Fabulous!
And more to come on that. We've got obviously there's a lot of detail.
Wow, we're always looking for something special and unique.
Right, and so. This is it. Everybody's itching to do something. This is something we can do safe and at the same time raise a few bucks for the Boys and Girls Club. Because everybody, it's really something we're looking forward to. So stay tuned for more. It's probably going to be in late August because we have to have time to work the logistics and get permissions, etc.
Of course.
But we're going to put a real stage out there, and probably the way we're talking now, it'll be a 90-minute show, but we'll be able to do 2 shows. We'll be able to bring, say, 100 to 150 cars in.
Brilliant.
And do one at, let's say, 3 in the afternoon, and then we'll do another one at 7 at night. So it'll be the same show twice, but everybody, that way we're not trying to cram 400 cars into a field and nobody can see or hear, at the back end of the field. So stay tuned for more. That'll be coming up. I'd say in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have most of the details ironed out.
JPEG, Luca, you are so wonderful. That's what makes our town so great. I got to say, yesterday we or this weekend, the Artworks folks were down in Taylor Hedges and Dennis Street. It's the underpass that has
doing the picture, right?
Pass or over. Yeah, is there an underpass and an overpass? Do they work together?
You have to
explain
have
the difference.
You
Peter
have to
Coles,
have an
explain the
overpass.
difference between underpass and overpass.
You have to have an overpass in order to have the underpass.
Right, yes.
Because if nothing's going over, there's no
An underpass and an overpass together make a bridge.
Like I have on both sides of my mouth. I'm having another one down here. Talk to Dr. Ken.
Time for a break, Bob.
Yeah, so I walk over to look at it, and it's really charming. And the folks, the artists, individual artists and community artists, every Saturday, I think between it's early morning, so it's like 9 to 1 or something. They're over there. I know I saw Tom Sawyer playing his guitar, etc., and they're painting this lovely mural. And in fact, one of the
they were given a grant for that by the Cultural Council, I believe.
Yes, I think they did.
I remember the vote because I sat through all those meetings.
They've got some sponsorships for it as well. But mask, there's a big masked woman there, and there are some bicyclists, and this is on the wall, and flowers, and it's painted in these colors that kind of go with the scenery. It's big, and it's sort of like you can walk through it. So. You might, they may be looking for people to paint, so you might go on Artworks to find out. Meanwhile, the folks at Westfield on weekends yesterday, from 4 until 8, I made a scene on the bridge because I was walking on the bridge and holding up traffic.
You stopped traffic, Bob?
I was stopping traffic. Literally, I stopped traffic yesterday on one of the bridges. The bridges count one bridge going into town and then the other bridge going out of town with the help of a lovely man who helped us to fund this project. We planted the plantings on the bridge in window boxes or whatever boxes they call it. So it's not at a window. What kind of box is it?
They're hanging boxes,
You
Bob.
can still call it a window box.
They're hanging boxes. Hanging planters.
Boxes. Okay, all right. But they're about the size of maybe 3 feet, and so we planted these
Yeah, I saw
very sturdy stuff.
The DPW was hanging those up over the DPW was putting those up over during the week, right? So you guys could come in during the weekend and put them up, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So we yesterday was the day. Of course, it had to be the hottest day of the summer.
Yes.
It was 90 degrees. We had to do it later in the afternoon because we couldn't do it in the early morning. And so we were out there for about 2 hours and planting. And I got to thank Barbara Trant, who with Scott Holloway at the Park and Rec Department helped us to do it. And now the bridges, those 2 bridges have flowers. It's a very hard thing because they have to be watered like every other day or so. So we're trying to figure out how to do that. And I learned something yesterday. Folks, I am not a gardener, nor do I ever want to be one. I do not. I found another profession that I'm not good at. Really, holy God. James, on the other hand, really good. With his mask on. Mine broke. Oh, incidentally, I want to warn everybody. As I was going into the Big Y, on the left, there's this display of boxes of masks.
Okay.
Okay. They're $30 and then $35 or something. I couldn't believe the price, number one. And I think there are 100 masks in there. Well, they're like the umbrellas that they sold on the streets in New York. You get them, and a half hour later, one of the bands breaks. And this has happened to me and a couple of other people. So I just wanted to tell folks that that is the brand might be great, and I'm not saying don't buy, but I'm saying beware of that, and maybe bring it back. I might bring mine back and say this broke, and ask for the money back, because $30 for these masks. So I
see, Bob. I buy mine directly from the Chinese. You know, they
directly.
Yes.
Can you see China from your home, or you've got a
No. I'm not Sarah Palin. I'm not
Who
Sarah
you
Palin.
following over there?
No, there's an app that a lot of people get it delivered with their phone now. It comes on their phone called Wish, which is basically a storefront for Chinese vendors. And you search through Wish, and the Darth Vader mask I bought lasted 3 months before it gave up the ghost. And even now, it's still kind of working, but I bought more of them, and they have replaceable filters, and they reuse masks, and they work pretty well.
Jason Poland and his family were there yesterday planning with us, and Jason said, I have a friend who does it. Amy Tosi did one for me, as you know, and my cousin brought over another one.
Cloth mask?
I'm looking. They're Live with Kelly and Ryan have their own ones that say Live with Kelly and Ryan, but
Kelly and Ryan, what happened to Regis?
He's finally got it right.
I want to buy an American one that's made for maybe support some kind of project or charity or something with the mask. I don't know. I've
done that. I bought some from Etsy.
Jay,
I gave them away. I bought some from Etsy that were handmade in Connecticut. By an artist who was out of work. They're fine. I just gave them away because they were very small for my head. I have a big noggin.
Oh yeah. I have that same problem.
I found people that could use them.
Heads made for television. Did you know that? That's the reason why Vanna White got hired by Merv Griffin, because she had a big head. That's the true story.
I believe
Honest
that.
to God, because you need a big head first you need a big head, period, because who wants to be out there in the world on TV like this? Take a good look, everyone. At any rate, so you have a big head, Jay. And here's an even bigger head. Look at that. Oh, for God's sakes, help me. He just went, for anybody who's listening on the radio, we saw his head close to the monitor.
Danny Mason has weighed in and said there's a lot of people in Westfield making masks, and some will custom make them for you.
I love it. Well,
is there a
box
place
is 30,
people can order those?
30, whatever it is, $35 at the Big Y. Really lousy. Really lousy. At any rate, hey, why don't we play a song? What do we got there, Peter? It's the first song that I
have it, yeah.
picked, and what do you got?
I'm all set to go.
All right, I want to announce it. So, so I found. Did you know that there's a reference to Corona in the Secret Life of Pets movie? I didn't realize this at all.
Corona the beer?
One of the songs is Me and Julio down by the schoolyard, and there is a line in there that says the Queen of Corona. Listen for this. This is Paul Simon's from The Secret Life of Pets 2, which was the movie on the weekend, and it mentions the dreaded Corona virus. Only it's the Queen of Corona. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Mama put you on the road out of bed and she ran to the police station. When the papa found out, he began to shout and started the investigation. It's against the law. It was against the law. Oh, what your mama saw, it was against the law. Mama looked down and spit on the ground every time the name gets mentioned. Papa said, oh, if I get that boy, I won't stick him in the house of detention. Well, I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye, Rose, is the Queen of Corona. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard. Whoa, the company days, they're gonna take me away, but the best let the story. Now when the radical priest come to get me released, we was all on the coroner's week. and I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going, I'm on my way. I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye Rose, the Queen of Corona. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
This is Ken Stanley from Ken Stan on WCBC 15 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10. Community Radio,
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, and it is, what time is it?
It says it on the screen, Bob. It's 6:31 a.m.
Oh, there it is, right there. 6:30.
I put it up just for you,
It's
Bob.
going to be another hot day. Boys, I've decided I got to move north. My 75-year-old body cannot take this heat any longer.
Man, how did
just begun the summer? It's not, we just had the solstice, so we
Less
just
than a
really
week
begun the summer.
of hot weather, Bob. Less than a week of hot weather, and you're already over the edge.
he wants to move to
Over
Newfoundland?
the edge.
Bob wants to move to Newfoundland.
Huh?
We want to move to Newfoundland.
I can't hear you, Peter. Your microphone for me is foggy.
It's foggy.
It could be me. I don't know.
It could be you. Let me.
See, I've got to do this. Pat
So
my head.
he's sweating on the
I'm
air.
sweating already, and it's not even 8 o'clock.
It's time
I'm
to
not even
powder
out
your
of bed.
forehead. Call the makeup people. Time to powder your
Can you
forehead.
hear me now, Bob?
And I bought this. I bought the ring thing, the ring light, in order to make this a little bit more professional. And to make me look better. In other words, not to make me look like I need to be rushed to the hospital because I'm anemic or something.
That's my job, to make you look better. All I got to do is be on the screen next to you. You look great.
But look at the difference between your skin tone and mine.
I just have a cooler beard. You got to grow your beard.
Yeah, Bob. You gotta grow your beard. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just like your microphone is fuzzy. You have a fuzzy microphone.
Yeah, he's
Pardon the
fine
expression.
on this end. I don't know. Ask, hey, Danny, does Peter sound okay?
Yeah, do I sound okay? I don't know.
The music. Maybe it's my own sound on my cheap laptop here, which is
Maybe.
another thing that's going. I'm buying another laptop. I'm making this professional as possible. So my plug.
Bob's never coming back to the studio.
Okay, doesn't plug into the ring light. It doesn't plug in. You know how when you have a cell phone and you sometimes can't get the little prongs into the bottom of your cell phone? That's happened to me on the ring light. So this $50 ring light that I bought is worthless. I got to send it back. So then I read where warm you up. You get you have another light source. Okay, so here's the light source. I'm going to turn it on. I turned it off. Here we go. Turn it on. Is that any better? What do you think?
Yeah, Bobby, you're evenly lit now. You're evenly lit now.
No, he's not.
Your microphone is still dark. Oh, look at this. I'm going to turn my cheeks too.
It's Bob's crappy computer. It's not my microphone because Danny Mason says I sound fine on the radio.
Oh, it's my crappy computer.
Yes.
This is what I'm doing. I'm buying one. Now, do I risk going into a store or do I buy it online, or do I buy it from my friend Jay, who's got tons that are sitting at home because he
Bob,
or Peter.
talk to your friendly computer guy. I get an HP business outlet list every day that has refurbished computers at a lower cost than new.
Really?
Really? Really?
Really?
Yes.
Are you going to send me that link so that I can do it?
I'll help you out with the ordering process because it's not easy, but I can help you with that.
Wonderful.
You ever notice that when you find some really great deal? Hey, I get you this great deal, and then 3 days later you're still trying to order it because it's so cumbersome to get the order in.
No, I've dealt with these guys. The computer that we bought years ago for Westfield State, I ordered that through them, and it's held up for 6 years and chugged along. It's finally starting to go, but up until then it's been fine. So I'll hook you up. Don't worry about it. We'll make it work.
Wow, that would be great. How much money do I have to start to save?
What's your budget?
Spend with my accordion on the street.
What's your budget, Bob? I'll go by your budget. You give me a budget, and
Depends on
I'll
what
make
he
it.
can get for his accordion.
Yeah, what's your budget gonna? You give me a budget, and I'll make something work for you.
Okay. Well, I'm
Good luck
sorry.
with
I
that.
wasn't supposed to laugh there.
What, $300?
You want a laptop or a desktop?
I want it so I can carry it from room to room. What's that?
That'll be a laptop.
That'll be a laptop. Okay, I've got to do a laptop.
Okay.
Because I don't, you need to have it to carry, right?
But you do. Depends on how you want to use it. Some people just have it sit on a desk all the time, and that's where they use it, and that's it. And so that's.
I need to be comforted at every moment by having this.
Remember when Google came out with
He needs a
Google-
tablet.
Yeah, he needs one of those Google Glass things. Remember Google made the little glasses with you could see the
They still make them, yeah.
in your glasses.
Yep.
So it was always you always had a screen in front of you that you could see no matter where you looked, and it was just eerie. But did that ever catch on? I haven't. That kind of faded away quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of it priced itself out of the market for the most part, but
Well, it
they
was
still
the
make
thing.
them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was a neat idea. I could see a lot of use for it in some of the things I was doing at the time. I mean, at the very least, it seemed like a great thing to have as a monitor if I was a camera operator. Wouldn't it be cool? I didn't have to look at this little screen. I just wherever I looked, I could see where the camera was pointing. So, but anyway, but I digress.
Monday.
What am I going to do about this heat, guys? I just don't know. Is it my own body reacting? I mean, are there some bodies? I've heard people that maybe both of you are these folks who say, "Oh, make it 80, 90 degrees. I am luxuriating."
I'm one of those guys that find it's easier to warm myself up than to cool myself off. I'd rather be dealing with 10 degrees outside and working that way, because I can work up a sweat in 10 degrees, it just depending on what I'm doing. I'd rather be working in 10 degrees than 95 and humid. So, that's just me.
Exact same way. So where do we?
Where do you go? Alaska.
Or Newfoundland. New Zealand. Well, yeah, New Zealand. New Zealand's a pretty nice little island.
I mean, like northern Maine, or where I'm going to think of folks in this country.
Northern Maine has mosquitoes that'll carry you away.
That's true.
Oh, they've got those bugs. What are those?
The mayflies.
The mayflies.
Yeah.
Forget that. No. Scotland's got those as well, so I can't move this Scotland. That Edinburgh has those mayflies, or those black. What do they call them?
Black flies, yeah.
Black flies, or whatever. So maybe Vermont, northern Vermont.
They got bugs there too.
Bob, you're not going to get away from bugs. If you go to Florida, there's bugs there too. So.
No, I can't. There's no way I'm going to Florida. There's no way. Dennis and Michael have just purchased this home in Rehoboth.
I know. I want to go visit.
You're welcome to go visit, but go in October or November.
Well, see, it doesn't bother me.
I went once it was 110 degrees, and I went there, and I stayed in this house. And I thought to myself, I went away, and I stayed in the house. It's sort of like when you go on vacation with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you stay the entire weekend in the motel, except to go out to eat dinner. Stay in the room because you're romantic, etc., etc. You're going someplace to stay in a room. So I could go up to, I thought maybe James and I just take a weather break and go to a motel, and then I thought, oh, is that safe in this weather or in this climate?
Bob, do you have proper air conditioning in your home? Is this the problem, that you don't have air conditioning?
No, I have air conditioning. We have air conditioning on the second floor of my house.
Well, you're on the first floor 90% of the time. That kind of defeats the purpose.
No. Cool air drops. If you're going
not in a house like that.
If you're going to put air conditioning in, you put it in the upper floors because the cool air will tend to sink. You wouldn't put the air conditioner in the basement.
The basement's cooler because it's below grade.
That's right.
That's right.
Now, take.
It's directly on the line. So no.
Take that a step further. How did people cool their houses go back 100 years ago? Air conditioning really didn't exist, right? So theaters, for instance, how did theaters stay cool? Now
remember they used the words
air cooled, yeah, but that was
blocks of ice and people who were waving fans.
No, there was no ice involved. Now, a good example of this is a really nice example is the Academy of Music up in Northampton, and I had a great opportunity to get a behind-the-scenes look at when they did the refurb a few years ago of that place. And if you ever drive by there, at the very top, you look carefully. Looks like a little cupola up on the top of the theater.
I've seen it, yes.
Now, what they had was around that cupola were a series of gas burners. Now, think about that. Why would you have gas burners in the cupola at the top of your theater?
Yeah.
And it was an open vent up there. So what am I trying to do? Heat the outside on a hot summer day? Not like they needed any more heat. Well, think about it. In most of those old buildings, they also had huge grates on the floor. If you're down on the bottom floor, you'd be walking down the aisles, and you often walk across this big metal grate. Well, that went down into the basement. Even in the summertime, you're down below grade. That's a cool basement. So now if you burn gas burners up in that little cupola, it will create an updraft that pulls the cool air up out of the basement into the theater and thus cool the theater.
Wow, so that's what air cooling means.
Well, I don't know if that's what, somebody may have used that term, but that's how they cooled the theater.
Okay, so now where is Freon?
It's a commercial refrigerant.
It's inexpensive on.
It's a commercial refrigerant, and you circulate air around a coil. And by coming in contact with the refrigerant in the coil, the air gets colder as it passes by. That's the basic theory of air conditioning. You condition the air over another substance to make it cool.
But you didn't explain what Freon was.
It's a commercial. Yes, but when it's put in liquid form, it's very, very cold. When it's put under pressure.
Dry ice,
It's
it's liquid form. Dry ice is what's it? Carbon dioxide.
Dry ice is frozen CO2.
Yes, carbon dioxide. That's solid. And it goes from, it doesn't go to a liquid. It goes directly to a gas.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking of buying one of those fans that have a hole in the center. That gets I don't know if that's going to work at all. A fan. I have an overhead fan. We have an overhead fan over our bed, and so it has 3 speeds. And the top speed is like being in a wind tunnel. And it's sort of like freezing our outer layer, but our inner layer is still hot. I think I'm just gonna move. No, I can't move. Well, I could move and still be on the air, couldn't I, Peter? If I moved to Maine, can I still have my show on Tuesday mornings?
Sure, Bob. You'll have to have really good internet, though. You'll have to have really good internet.
Well, you're going to hook me up, aren't you? That's going to be a condition.
I can't hook you up with good internet. That's whoever your provider is.
We are going to find a place where it's cool.
Okay.
I can, maybe it's the top of the Empire State Building. Well, I don't know. Maybe I can find a room there. At any rate.
Hang out at Starbucks. You can stop down at Starbucks and sit in the corner with your laptop, connect to the internet, and then you can do your show from there. They're open at 6 in the morning.
Oh, I could go into an air-conditioned room. Oh, there you are. Or I could go to an internet cafe. Is there an internet cafe? That was a big thing in the 80s and 90s.
It was a big thing before everybody and their brother had a phone in their pocket.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, it is 6:45 in the morning, so we're going to go to the 6:45 song, Peter. And I think what it is that, this is good news, everybody. Hamilton, the Broadway show that you pay hundreds of dollars for tickets to see it, okay? Lin-Manuel Miranda's Pulitzer Prize winning Hamilton is going to be on free. Well, you have to be part of Disney Plus. Disney Plus is going to have it on television as of July 5th. It's going to be on Disney Plus, and so you could get a bundle or something with Hulu for Disney Plus, or you could just have a month's worth of Disney Plus. Rent it for a month, Disney Plus, and then get to see Hamilton, a great musical, for free on television. They take it during the first season of it on Broadway, and it has all the original stars. So, what do you think, Jack? You're going to watch it? You're going to get Disney Plus to see this?
They just want your money.
I wasn't interested when it first went on Broadway. I'm still not interested. I'll wait for it. And it's not free. You're saying you got to buy something in order to get something for free. It's not free. Yeah.
It's not $300 a ticket or something.
Well, all right. So it's less expensive, more frugal, affordable.
Tell you what, I'll invite you over and we could all sit and watch Disney Plus on television and watch Hamilton. So, at any rate, I'm going to play. This is what I'm feeling right in the moment. This is Helpless from the Broadway show Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda, and this is a great song, Helpless.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield. Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio 89.5
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. Hey, everyone, it's Nick Nolte after the arrest. Hey, there's Jay.
You really got to change that, Bob.
What would he say?
I got to change my...
Look at his screen name.
For me, Peter.
I can't see it.
My title, because some folks didn't... I was on a Zoom the other night, they wouldn't put me on because they didn't know who Nick Nolte was.
Bob, you have to change it on your end.
Oh, I got to change it? Okay, I'll see it.
I can only change it. I can only rename it temporarily.
Yeah, you can't see it from here, can you?
Yeah.
No, I have it screened out a little
I
bit.
forgot to tell So it's now number 6. It's been on the charts for 246 weeks. Do you believe that? So I wondered, you guys who are so up on Broadway theater, can you name the shows above Hamilton that are the 5 best soundtracks of musicals ever?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Nope.
Cats.
Nope. On the right track though.
West Side Story.
No, unfortunately not.
All that jazz?
I know.
No, all that jazz is that's Chicago. Nope. I'll give you.
Oh, Chicago.
My hand over my eye like this.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's not a pirate. My hand is over my one eye.
Facepalm.
It comes down my face because I don't want to show you what's underneath it.
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera. That's number 1. Do you believe it? Wow. Now the other one is a show that has a king and a queen in it.
The King and I.
I'm talking about me.
The King and I.
No. Oh, that's good. That was very good. A king and a queen that he pulls a sword from a stone to become the king of England.
Spamalot?
Camelot.
What is it?
Camelot.
Camelot is number 2.
No, come on, stay with my Monty Python. It's got to be Spamalot, man. That's
Great show, isn't it? If you can rent it or whatever, I hope they make a movie of it because it's
that. Yeah,
funny.
anything Monty Python is hilarious. You've got to have an odd sense of humor, but if it's Monty Python, you've got to smile at it.
Oh, it's exactly.
Oh! Before I forget, that the Northfield Drive-In was opening. I think it was last weekend, and the first movie they played is the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Had to be. What a great opening show.
How about Rocky Horror Picture Show? We could do that. Would be a nice fall one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, got to get permission to throw popcorn and rice and squirt people with water and.
Yeah, toast on the screen.
Yes. Yeah, got to have toast.
One more Broadway show. This is a girl who has trouble pronouncing some letters of the alphabet. She's a flower girl.
Oh, My Fair Lady.
Oh, there you are. And how about Julie Andrews on a Mountain?
The world is alive.
Yeah, but
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. Those are the ones. Those are the best-selling albums of all time. And
what's scary is I know them.
Really, I'm going to give you. This is Gay Pride Month. I'm going to give you a certificate.
Look, for the record, you don't have to be you don't have to be any kind of. Oh, never mind. Everybody likes Broadway.
This is a very good stereotype.
Yeah, you don't be stereotyping this. It's not fair.
Me.
Well, I know you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I should probably stop doing that because I know people who. I mean, look, the stereotype. Okay, if Broadway and opera, you might be gay. If you're not married over 35, you might be gay. It's almost like, who cares? And I think that the new generation in June here and during Pride Month, really.
You know what it is? And my daughter and I had this conversation, and she said it succinctly. Who cares? Just like you did. Who cares?
Yeah, no. I think that, it's really true, and we're raising a good generation who understand, whereas our older folks maybe don't understand. Hey, who's that woman sitting?
Hi, Janine.
Look at.
Hey.
If you're watching on Channel 15 in Southwick or in Westfield, or you're streaming at westfieldtv.org, or if you're just listening on the radio, we are now joined by Janine Queenan, who is looking good there, and you even have a background. Janine.
Oh,
She's got on mute.
Take it off mute, Janine.
Here we go again. No, just like me.
Take it off mute, Janine.
Actually a Zoom expert, so I can't believe I just.
Okay, so yeah, look at how beautiful. I mean, your skin tone is great. Mine.
Oh, thank you, Bob. No, stop. No, stop.
Look at my skin tone compared to yours. What am I doing wrong with my Zoom? Yeah.
Listen, I can tell you, but I won't tell you. You and I can talk later. Offline, I have a tip for you. Can I tell you now? Just get a ring light.
He's got one.
He's got one. It made it worse.
It's not helping.
You have a ring light?
Yes, he did. He does, but he's still got the 1970s camera.
Yeah, it's supposed to plug into my phone. Does your ring light? Does your ring light just plug into the wall and there it is?
And there it is. Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it has different shades, so you can change the tone of it in the color.
Really, I
and
can
things
look
like
like
that.
I got a tan on it.
Yes.
Okay, so will you send me the link where I can purchase that? Because
I will.
this crappy $50 one.
You know what it is, Janine? I'd be willing to bet that he doesn't know he needs a external power supply for it. So the same charger that he uses for his phone would probably power the light.
Yeah. Pete, it sounds fuzzy to me.
See, it is Pete. Ha!
I sound fine on the radio, but apparently I sound fuzzy to everybody else.
So there's an easy fix for all of these things. You see, all Bob needs to do is turn off his camera, and then we won't need to worry about that. And all Pete needs to do is turn off his mic. See how this works?
Am I better now? Or is it cleaner now? Fuck.
Fuzzy as a navel.
Oh!
All right, so Zoom expert, Janine Queenan from StoriedAdventures.com. Got to get that in before I forget. StoriedAdventures.com.
Welcome back, Janine.
So look at
Thank you.
you look great. Your the ring light is really working. What other tips?
That's
can
my
you give?
secret. That's my secret.
Yeah. What else are you? I mean, like you have a lovely background.
Oh, so that you can do backgrounds on Zoom. You know that, Bob, right? And you can do any background in the world. But that is just a poster from London. And
I just want
I'm doing
to.
a lot of Facebook Lives and with travel tips and things like that. So I just
Right.
sort of set something up so it's like a little bit of a travel background for me.
It's a double-decker bus, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See,
Are you in which room of the house are you in right now?
I am in my bedroom.
Really?
stop it, Bob.
Well, my husband is back to work in his office,
He's
but
not sleeping in the bed over here. I just James, it's really not going to be good try.
Wake him up, yeah.
but he took over my office during the quarantine, so I've been kind of moving around the house to find a place to work, and this just has been a good space for me. A lot of light, a lot of windows, which I like. So.
Yeah, it's great. And where's your light coming from in your room? Because I have light right now. I'm in the living room, and so I have a window over there where the sun is coming up. That's to my left over there, everybody. And then I have two windows ahead of me that look at the street, and I monitor the post office for folks who, whether they're wearing masks or not. It's not open, so I can't.
You doing it? Mask
But do I have too much light in the room? Should I be sitting in some room that doesn't have any light?
More light is always better than less light, for sure, because the shadows makes you look. I don't know. It changes the mood of the camera.
Yeah.
Of the picture. So more light's always better, and they always say natural light is the best light to use.
I got it. Wow. Hey, you've been doing online little tips. Or what are you guys doing there?
I know. Well, so I raced, as people can imagine, the travel industry is on a little bit of a cold right now. So,
Hiatus.
a little bit, yeah. So I've just been, finding ways to stay engaged with clients and people who have liked my Facebook page, and I've been doing a lot of Facebook Lives with tips and answering questions with some friends from the travel industry, so from all over the country. So really good perspective and a lot of different specialities. So we do that on Thursdays at 2 o'clock and Friday at 6 o'clock. So if you go to Storied Adventures, you can see it. I do a watch
Thursdays
party
at 2
there.
and Fridays at 6. I'm writing it down.
Is there an outlook as to when travel should or will open up? Yeah, I mean, both domestic and international travel. I know you've been discussing it, but what are your thoughts surrounding this? Or should we simply get in our car and do an old-fashioned 50s tour across America?
I think that the old-fashioned 50s tour across America will be what's happening for this summer at least. And even though things are opening, I think that people will have to be comfortable flying and go to hotels and things like that, but also take into consideration what will happen when you arrive at a destination where you have to quarantine yourself, and when you get back, the same. And probably not as much, but even domestically, Hawaii is talking about as a 14-day quarantine for visitors, which makes sense. I mean, they don't want the disease to spread to the island, but
so where do you quarantine? And you're talking about the romantic weekends of the You're going to quarantine for a week or 2 weeks in a motel or a hotel in Hawaii? Is that how you quarantine?
That just means I have to be there for a month instead of 2 weeks. That's all. Normally people would take a week-long vacation. Well, now you'd have to be a month-long vacation.
Exactly.
Are there countries like I just heard that Thailand is and I think it's one of the best places to go because it's free of the virus, basically.
Right. Yeah, there are countries. I mean, Iceland, Taiwan. I sort of say like Australia, New Zealand, but do they want us? That's the question.
I was just going to go there. That's the thing. If they're free of the virus, okay, good. Hold. Nobody in, nobody out. So.
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've been so successful. Like Taiwan, for example, they were prepared because they, of course, they had exposed to SARS and a lot of other things from mainland China too. But they haven't had a case for ages. But the whole country shut down, literally shut down. So, just a different approach. And then I guess it's up to them. I know Iceland is reopening for tourists, and they're eager for it because that's where most of their economy.
Yeah, that is their economy.
Yeah, is the economy, right? Which a lot of countries. I mean, and that's a problem as well. I mean, clearly, I don't know, so 100 million people in the travel industry have lost their jobs. But you also have places where not only is it the people count on it, but the natural world too. Like you've heard cases where poaching's a problem again because the tourism money isn't in to protect the animals or marine spaces that are protected by tourism dollars. So really, people need to travel. That's all I have to say.
Well, yeah, it's all, and then
Back to it.
we're all going stir crazy.
Well, yeah, and then there's countries like Sweden which never really shut down, and they fared no worse or no better than everybody else. So it doesn't make any. All of this doesn't make any sense to me.
I can't see it.
I'm gonna stop talking. That's it. I'm out.
Now, my wife wants to go out.
It was a fuzzy question to tell you.
A fuzzy question. Now, my wife wants to go.
The thing is that how do you get over that to be less fearful? And I guess that's on an individual basis.
Right.
That's a part of it, is getting comfortable
Am I better now?
going somewhere.
Did I clear up now?
No. It's all about the comfort level of the person traveling. Do I feel safe going where I'm going? And that, I mean, just in a smaller version of that, do I feel comfortable going to the grocery store or going to the 5 and 10 down the road? Does anyone know what that is anymore?
Like the Pepper restaurant now outside downtown Weston has a patio outside on East Main Street where you can sit outside under a tent.
A lot of restaurants are doing that. If you go by a lot of go down East Main Street, and 99 is doing that. Applebee's is doing that. Even the inside dining room is open again in most places. But you're going to find a lot of restaurants now because, I had room for 30 people before now, but they'll only let me have half that. So, a dozen people makes it hard to open and maintain a restaurant. But when you're traveling, same thing. My wife Marianne wants to, and I want to go somewhere, but we're planning day trips because whoever is not comfortable where we're going and don't want to stay, I don't care. I'll just go. I'll sleep in the car. I don't care.
It's problematic as it is because I'm not really comfortable. You might guess this. I mean, I'm not comfortable necessarily going into a motel room, period.
Right,
yes,
true.
I'm looking at the sheets and I'm going, please God, I don't want there to be a bug in here. Then I go into the bathroom and I feel like maybe I just should take the Clorox to this. And,
maybe that's not a bad idea. I mean, I won't say the hotel, but I stayed at a hotel last summer and we found a Q-tip. I used Q-tip in the bed.
Oh my God, help me. Oh, no. Worse than finding a dead mouse.
Seinfeld does a routine about finding a hair on the wall in the shower, and he goes on for 5 minutes about it.
No, I know it's not the end of the world, but it just is like yuck.
So what do travel agents recommend in terms of going to a motel? I mean, like now in this stage.
Yeah, I think people have used common sense. So I have always been.
Do you bring your own sheets?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, hotels, especially, it depends on. I'm not going to disparage any hotel chain. I mean, certainly some you get the feeling are better with maintenance and cleanliness and things like that. And I think you just use your common sense. I think most hotels, they don't want to risk having something happen at their hotel, have an outbreak or something. I think that's a real concern. And if you see a lot of advertising or even on the websites, they talk a lot about what they're doing to make sure that it's clean, that's a clean environment. And that's not just for hotels, but it's for rental companies. If you are thinking about renting a house like the VRBO, whatever the policy for their hosts, it's right on their website because that's what they want to happen.
It's funny. I wonder if you feel the same way, you guys. When you go to a hotel and there is the toilet seat has a band across it.
I know.
It's sort of like if you were a ribbon cutting ceremony. I wish it was better when there was that band across it.
Right. That's just psychological. I don't know what's going on.
Is that all you need, Bob? I'm going to put a band across your microphone in here from now on. That'll take care of it. So,
The hotel door.
there you go.
But which is the hotel or motel room? Which is the thing that we have the most to be concerned about? Would it be
The TV. I think of the TV.
The remote.
Control. I think probably the remote control and
the flicking, the lights?
Yeah, the light switches.
The toilet jiggle thing.
Things that probably the cleaners wouldn't necessarily think to clean. They're going to clean the bathroom, they're going to change the sheets. Depending on the hotel chain, they don't always change the comforter, right? So some of the higher end hotels, they do bring a new comforter in every single
How
time.
do you know that?
Well, you don't, but you can tell something's fresh. More or less. I mean, you've been in a hotel room where you're looking at the comforter and saying,
Oh. Or that smell when you enter the hotel.
Yeah.
Like this, there's no one in here for 40 years.
Right.
Including air. There's been no air in here. So you put the air conditioner on, hoping that it's going to work.
I just did a flashback to the old Psycho Hotel.
It is so true. Hey, we should probably take a break here. I'm going to play, I've been waiting for a minute. I will ask you about your quarantine yourself. There's a song by Crowded House. Do you know Crowded House? You ever heard of Crowded House?
Sure. Yes.
Tell me about them, because I know nothing about
I think they're an 80s band, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
There's a song that their big song. You know what their big song was?
I can't remember. I honest.
Don't Dream It's Over.
Oh yeah, of course. I do know that song though because it was a big hit. Back when I was young.
I thought you were going to say, because it was my husband and that was our two.
No, that's Don't Dream It's Over.
Don't Dream It's Over.
Maybe the opposite. That'd be like the opposite of our song.
Right. This is what you say to your girlfriend when you're proposing and you're presenting her to with your parents and your prenup. Don't dream it's over. No. So let's like crowded house. We're all crowded in this right now. So here's crowded house.
There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, let come, oh, between us. There's a hole in the roof. My possessions are causing a suspicion of this. Thank God today, just a warming and waste. You turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, let come, oh, between us, we know they won't win. Steps to the door of your heart. When the shadows of day will be clear in the room, get to know the feeling of liberation and relief. Hey now, don't prove it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, let come. Between us, no, they won't win.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Long Meadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Long Meadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow! It is the Westfield on Weekend show for all the great stuff that might be happening in the area, and for all kinds of tips, you can go to Westfield on Weekend's Facebook page, where our great trustee Heidi Whalen is the guru, and she'll keep you connected. And we also have Westfield's Creative Arts. Be looking for information about our arts and crafts classes coming up there, hopefully in the fall. And all kinds of information about what's happening in Westfield. Hey, if you're watching on Channel 15 or westfieldtv.org, that beautiful woman below me, right there, she's in the square down there. She's in the middle square. If you've got, she's always in the middle square because she's that great. StoriedAdventures.com, Janine Queenan. Hi.
Hey. Hi.
Janine, will you answer a question for me? Where do I look? Do I look now? Do I look in the little green light? I'm looking at the little green light right now. Here's that.
Yes, you're supposed to. Yes, you are.
Then
it's hard to though, because you want to look at the person talking, and I do it too. And I think everybody does it because it's just natural.
I'm looking at you right now. That's
right, and I'm looking at you. But we're supposed to look at the green light because the people watching on Channel 15.
That's okay. I just look all off into space, and it just seems more natural.
Oh, I had a friend like that. Yeah, you have friends who you don't know whether they're looking at you or not. I mean, it might be an eye condition, and I don't want to make fun of that. But if it's not, I had a friend it's not an eye condition, it's just a habit. He was an actor who, when you were on the stage with him, he would stare at your forehead rather than at you. Mm-hmm. So you would be looking at him, and he was looking at your forehead, and of course, then you immediately go like this.
Do I have something?
You try to clean what's there. Then you realize, oh, no. This is his style. He doesn't want to look me in the eyes.
Yeah. Is that an acting tactic though? Like I can imagine that you blink a lot when you look at people when you're acting. No.
Yeah. Or... No. When I took a lot of soap opera training classes, and when they're training you for a soap opera, what they say is, if you watch most soap operas, it's a setup between two people. It's about a relationship between 2 or 3 people. There are very few times when there is more than 2 or 3 people, usually 2 people. And you have to feel like there's a connection. And so they train you to sort of like you have an umbilical cord between the two of you. So when the person goes over here, you move here and you move here. And so it's the eye contact. The eyes are the window to the soul, and it's a money maker for most actors. So I should be, instead of looking like here and looking at my own eyes, I should be looking up at that and pretending that I'm looking at you. But I feel like I'm looking at your forehead, Janine. I don't see you.
You do look like you're looking up when you're looking at me, but that's okay.
Hey guys, I'm going to go off camera for a minute. Pete needs to leave the studio for a minute. We're not abandoning you, but we need to go check something out and prep for a show we have coming up. We'll talk about it a little bit later. All right.
Bob and I are in charge.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
That's right. Yeah, you two are in charge.
Break out the blues. Right. So Janine, I had this thing from NPR. And it's all about the coronavirus and risks. And I was just reading it. It says, staying at a hotel, low to medium risk.
Right.
The consensus is staying is relatively low, especially once you're in your room. It's best to limit your time in common areas, such as the lobby, the gym, the restaurant, and the elevator.
Right. Well, the elevator, yes.
Think about that. What about elevators? Because I never even thought of this.
Think about how many people are touching the button, and then it's also an enclosed space. And I imagine there's not a lot of ventilation
No. It says beware of the elevator. So we probably should be walking up and down the stairs, which would be good for our health.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine unless it's like a 20-story building.
That's right. See you in 45 minutes or so. Yeah.
That comes back to also, I mean, I know you can't control the air quality in the elevator, but just wash your hands afterwards.
That's true. It says use the knuckle of your little or ring finger to press the buttons.
Yeah.
Use your knuckle of your ring finger. Jeez, Can you do that? My ring? That's hard.
Well, what about an elbow? Wouldn't an elbow be easier? He just give it a little.
No. That elevator would be so confused. What, I hit the wrong one. I don't know.
Bob rides up and down.
I'd be riding up in there. Okay, here's the other thing. How about eating in the restaurant?
Yeah, I think that is not just in a hotel, but probably everywhere that people are worried about. I mean, I hope they open, completely soon. We did just open inside, right? Yesterday, was that right?
Yes, exactly right. Eating indoors at a restaurant, medium to high risk.
Yeah.
Medium to high risk. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But what it says is order room service rather than eating at the restaurant.
Yeah. Exposed to less people.
Yeah. Avoid the exercise room.
Yes.
And wear a face mask in public spaces.
Yeah.
Very important.
I think that takes all of the information we have about just being out in the public and brings it into the world of travel. I mean, like going on a plane, you'll see more people with face masks on and people cleaning their individual space, because even if the airline says they're going to clean, the turnover is really quick. I mean, you'll notice that sometimes a plane will arrive, everybody will get off, and 15 minutes later, we're all getting on. So they're not doing a really thorough job. They're picking up trash, and you do find every once in a while find something not very nice in that pocket in front of you and stuff. But I've always been a person to kind of clean up, and I know people always thought I was like overreacting, but it's very germy. And if I'm going on vacation, I tend to get sick when I travel. So I take a lot of precautions because I don't want to ruin my trip. So I make sure that I clean my hands, I clean my space. I take vitamin C, which everyone does, consult your doctor before you take any supplements, but I do a couple things, and I don't think that's a bad idea right now, especially with the concern about the coronavirus.
No bleach. Don't take any bleach or any of those. When a pill is recommended, talk to your doctor before you start to take a pill or put anything into your big mouth.
Exactly. And I have a couple of things that I think work, but of course it could just be a placebo. Well, I'm all about vitamin C, probiotics. I'll make sure that I take my vitamins, probiotics especially, because, they say the gut health is. Now tell me what a
probiotic is, Janine. What is a probiotic?
It's the germs that are in your gut. So is that like the
sauerkraut? I'm yes. I'm trying to serve sauerkraut once a week because I heard that was really good for my gut.
Yes, exactly. And yogurt and kombucha and all of that. You can also buy a supplement, but again, I'm not a doctor. So anyone who's listening, talk to your doctor. But studies have said that the germs in your gut are just as important to your health, or the most important thing to your health, in terms of your immune system and making sure that you have a good, healthy, robust, germ culture in your.
It's unfortunate.
Again, I'm not a doctor, but
it's unfortunate that many of those foods that are probiotic are also very gaseous. You know what I mean?
We just take a pill. You could take a pill.
Oh, that's true. You could take another pill. Why not another pill? Give me another pill. What the heck?
Another supplement.
I wondered. So just to follow through on this eating indoors at a restaurant, medium to high risk. Well, okay. Indoor dining is still among the riskier things you can do. The trouble is people tend to linger in restaurants. So even if spacing is okay, the duration of the exposure is longer, appears to lead to some release of the virus.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the concern on a plane too, because you are held there captive. But what I learned, and I did not know this, I thought the air in the plane was dirty. And it's actually
it's recycled. It's the same air.
But they clean it. It actually is very clean. I found out that the recycling system does clean the air. So it's not like someone sneezing in 24E is going to end up at you and 12A, it's cleaned. So I didn't realize that they do have a filtration system that does. Obviously, it probably doesn't clean everything, but it's much cleaner than I thought it was.
How do you like that? Wow. Well, it says here that in terms of took place in a restaurant, poor ventilation and air conditioning appears to have blown droplets between the tables. So it's got good air conditioning. It's got to be good air conditioning, not lousy air conditioning. And make sure you are, it's well ventilated, apparently. They should also provide single-use options for condiments, so you don't have to touch the shared ones, like the salt shaker.
Yeah,
very good advice.
That's interesting. I never thought of that, actually. That's a good point. If they're not cleaning it in between.
Yeah, and they should also choose all self-serve areas, should close all self-serve areas. So there should be no buffet table.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. I'm curious to see what will happen with the cruise lines in regard to
what do
buffets.
They do in it? Yeah.
Well, first of all, a lot of the
are they talking about reopening? Because I still get I belong to Cruise Critic. I'm a Cruise Critic or cruisecritic.com.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
know that.
Emails.
Yeah.
And it's telling me that buy the cruise now, etc. So what are they doing?
Well, if you're comfortable with it, so I again, you think about everything that's been in the news. I imagine that a lot of people are thinking twice about cruising, but they do clean a lot. This was an extraordinary thing. But also, you are with a lot of people. I mean, the cruises are full of people, very crowded. They do clean a ton, but I guess you can only do so much. But it's been a bit of a disaster. You think about the cruise ships being trapped on the water and not being allowed to dock. I mean, that is a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. We always had the fear of Legionnaire's disease on a cruise ship. And now we have to worry about this. And cruise ships are so wonderful.
Yeah, they are wonderful.
Everybody that I know, I mean, I haven't been on one, and we were going to go on one in the fall this year, but we're not going because we have to fly there. And we think that at 75 years old, that's part of the risk assessment. You've got to take your age into consideration.
Absolutely. In your general health, I mean, everyone has read what the risks are, the risk factors and different conditions that make you more susceptible and it's more dangerous.
Sure.
But I'm curious to see, so I've only been on one cruise because we're not big. I know people love cruises, but it's not really what we do a lot.
Yeah.
They did
You're the more active. You are the active traveler.
Right.
You're not going to you're not going to be told what you're going to get off and do it on your own, right?
Right, exactly.
Or find somebody to help you to do it, right? Like you.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but and I'm sure everywhere you go, there's hand sanitizer. But again, the self-serve, it's hard to control. People touch, because people are touching their faces. They're maybe not washing their hands. So I think it's going to be tough. But you will find some good prices on cruising. Most of the big companies will still be around. I'm kind of curious to see how that shakes out too, because of course we don't really know, not just for the cruise lines, but all across the travel industry, which companies will still be standing at the end of it. And so we're keeping a close eye on it. And one of the things just internally among advisors, as people start to talk to us about planning trips, we want to be really aware of what is going on in the industry, because we would hate to book someone on something and then have the company go out of business, of course.
Oh my gosh, that's something to think about, I suppose. So I don't
want to panic people either.
No.
Yeah.
Would you then recommend travel insurance?
So travel insurance there's going to be a big focus on travel insurance because people have found that they were not covered because of this. Pandemics is not one of the covered things under travel insurance. So
really,
yes, it's not. And whether it will be in the future, I don't know. But also once an event is declared, your insurance doesn't cover it anyway. So it's going to be, I think there's going to be some changes in the industry, but also unless you buy covered for any reason, you don't necessarily be covered under default. And not every company does default. Like we have found because of what happened with COVID that a lot of the insurance companies we were working with,
Right.
their policies didn't cover everything that needed to be covered. So I think there's going to be a spotlight shined on that as well, and there'll be some changes. But
so you better check before you purchase, I suppose.
And even covered for any reason. So people buy that, say they have a pre-existing condition or they have somebody at home that they may have to stop their trip for. It won't necessarily cover a default of a company. So again, you have to, just like anything, you have to read the terms and conditions. You have to, right?
Mhm.
And when you're working with an advisor, we'll read the terms and conditions too and make sure that it covers everything that you need to cover. But of course, who could have foreseen this pandemic? It's not one of those things that, I guess you could, because the people have been talking about it for years that there was going to be one, but
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sure. Now there are cruises like down the Mississippi River. I wonder if they're going to be happening.
I think, yes, they are, and the American Steamboat Company, they've had new boats and they're expanding their offerings. So it is an interesting way to do it. And you can go, there's a lot of different places in the United States that you can go down, like go down the Mississippi. You can,
Sure. What about going to, we're not allowed to go across the border into Canada, I think, yet, right?
No,
or
I
Mexico.
don't think so.
We'll never be allowed if Trump continues to be president to Mexico and down there. But the question, so if you're on a boat that's going to Canada, you can't get off the boat in Canada.
Right now, right. So
and is that true? And apparently the cruise lines are not going to Europe, so they're not letting people off the boat into Italy or Greece or wherever, right?
Right. Yeah. So right now it's still on hold, but people are booking cruises. There are cruises happening, or they're supposed to be. So I think that the danger is.
Yeah. Ooh. I can't hear you, Janine.
Hear me?
There we are. Oh, you froze on. You froze. I didn't hear that whole thing. You're back now.
Oh, all right. My internet connection is unstable, so hopefully I will not.
Oh, I hope Peter gets back here. Help!
I know. Anyway, it's common. I guess it just comes back to common sense and your own comfort level. So I think I do think that people will be traveling in 2021. I am working with people on trips in 2021, and I'm confident that will happen. Of course, you have to your own comfort level with making the purchase and traveling, your safety traveling. So it's really going to be, if you work with someone like me, we talk it through, and it will be based on your own personal needs and experience, and then we decide whether or not it's the right move at the time.
Marianne wants to buy a motorcycle and drive and ride it across the country with me.
That's fabulous.
There's something kind of cool about that.
Are you kidding?
Idea.
Jay, is that really true?
Yeah, she really does. When we first met, I had a bike and we used to go riding together a lot. Yeah, that's like 30-something years ago. But
sure.
Then kids came along and I sold the bike and have always wanted to get another one. And, so I'm looking every time I pass Bolducks up north there, the Indian motorcycle place, I go, oh, and she wants the big cruiser with the big comfy seat behind me. And there's something intriguing about that, and just taking that for a ride across the country.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And people are RVing like crazy too. Yeah. Like it is this summer. It's hard to find a rental.
If there's a boon in all of this, it is. It's the camping, the RV people. Is
that right?
Yes.
The RVs you had, rent. I didn't even know there were rental RV.
Oh, yeah, there have been for years, Bob. But it's.
Where have I been? Yeah. Where are
my dad did that back in the 90s. He did pop-up trailers back in the 90s. He rented those.
You can rent them from private people too. So we were talking about this beforehand, Bob, and I am not an RVer, but I did look some things up, and you can, if you go to RVing.com, you get all the information you need. I took a look at the website last night, and you can find the right size camper, find places to go, tips and checklists and everything that you need if you want to try it.
It's a rolling hotel on wheels now. It's amazing what you can get in there. And I know I've told this story before, but Marion doesn't like camping. She'll go with me on a bike, and as long as we park in a hotel parking lot and go in. But when the kids were little, they wanted to go camping. So the best we could do was offer the kids an RV. So we got a small one, not a bus, but basically a mid-size RV, and we ended up going out to Lake George. Kids thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and we end up going to Lake George and had plans to stop in a camp area. Marion goes, nope. There's a Holiday Inn over there. Let's go there. So the kids and I camped in the parking lot, and she had a room in the hotel.
Oh, that's fabulous.
I love it. But so RVing. So is it RVING.com? Is
Yes.
that the name of the
Yes.
the website?
Oh, I know it's funny because I looked it up last night.
Yeah.
And you know that, of course, social media, everything, they're watching us, everything we do.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately after I looked it up, I had something in my Facebook feed from Harvest Hosts, which I have not vetted this at all, but it looks super cool if people do like to RV. And,
Harvest, vacations?
harvesthosts.com. And there are more than 1,000 wineries, breweries, farms, outdoor museums that let you park your RV at the spot for free. And you join looks like an annual membership. And then of course it gives business to the wineries and breweries. And then you have this really beautiful spot to park your RV. You have to have one of those RVs that has water and things like that.
It's got to be self-contained.
What a cool idea.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much you can do. And
Could I rent my driveway to people?
You probably could. You probably could.
I'd come out. I'd serenade you. You could come in, use the bathroom. Oh, I don't know whether I want people coming in and using the bathroom.
No. Walmart allows that too, but I think that staying at a winery would probably be a little bit nicer.
There's something really cool about just the thought of that. Staying in the winery parking lot, opening up in the morning, getting up, having your coffee and a glass of wine.
Right.
It's as it should be.
Yeah.
And overlooking the vineyards.
Yes.
I just think that would be gorgeous.
Or you could make a tour of Walmarts throughout the country and go shopping every day.
Yeah, you
I don't think Walmart lets you do that anymore. No.
Oh, no, it doesn't?
No, it doesn't. No, when they first came to town and rolled out across the country, and I don't know why they don't anymore, but somewhere I read they don't anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No overnight parking.
So my Wisconsin music director actually picked a great song for us, "On the Road Again" by
there you go,
Willie Nelson. Yeah, if we could just have Peter. Oh, whoa! Now we're lost. Now we're totally lost, Janine.
I think Jay's going to take care of it for us.
No, I'm wondering. Well, "On the Road Again." Yeah, sing along.
I saw Willie Nelson in concert.
You did?
I did, yes, a long, long time ago.
Was he smoking the smoke?
I would imagine he probably was. Not on stage, but I'm not a country music fan, but I did go because the band was playing with him. Do you know the band?
The band? You mean
band.
With
Robbie Robertson? Yeah, the band.
Wow.
That's Leon Russell and who else was in the band? There was a lot of people.
Levon Helm.
Levon Helm. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, died this year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like I said, the wrong
is
person.
Peter there to be able to play? Is he back in the studio? Oh, there he is. Okay, fabulous. Hey, Peter, let's play Willie Nelson's "On the Road Again." I listened to this last night. I hadn't listened to it in a long while, and it is a great song. And Willie Nelson does songs from the American Songbook as well. I mean, so he's a really good favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson. Yeah. Let's get on the road again, huh, Janine?
Yeah.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. And I can't wait to get on the road again. All right, thank you very much.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. This is the Westfield on Weekend Show. I am Bob Platts. I'm here with Peter Coles. Kitten of the Keys is over there in the small box. The big box, if you're watching on Channel 15 or WestfieldTV.org, is filled with the likes of Janine Queenan from StoriedAdventures.com. Looking good, Janine. Hey, question for you. Are you planning any trips for your family this summer to get out of your quarantine?
We are going to Cape Cod. So we are doing just a little road trip. And we had plans to go to Japan, which have now been put off till 2021, which is fine. We would actually be there right now.
Wow.
But that's okay. You know, it will still be there. But we're going to go to the Cape and just relax. I have to be honest, part of me is thinking about the beach because some of the beaches can be crowded down there. So we'll just wing it.
I saw an article, I'm looking for it here, that said something of that the Cape is actually reopening in some way. Where can I find that darn thing?
We went down, my in-laws have a place down there. So we did go down for a short stay last summer. And I really felt like there were a lot fewer people. And I have no stats to back this up, but I feel like it's because of the sharks.
Well,
that there are less people going to visit.
Yeah. I found an article. So it says fog clearing and some sun in Cape's summer biz outlook. And here's the lead. Cape Cod leaders have observed encouraging signs of economic revival underway as the gradual economic reopening process continues. And so they had this conference call. And apparently short-term rentals have seen a very brisk uptake since the weekend, last weekend, of reservations lasting 1 or 2 months. This is sellout inventory, believe it or not.
People are renting houses for sure. Yeah. I've seen that across the board everywhere. No one's traveling, not no one, but most people are staying close.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. It says many people are traveling to the Cape, but it remains below last year's averages. But it's increased a little bit lately and stuff. So I wonder though, are you going to travel with another family, or are you going to be by yourself? Because it says going to a vacation home with another family is low risk. Did you believe that?
I think it is low risk, unless they are involved in high risk activities and then they go. But we are.
Did you write the article? Really?
Right. Is that what it says?
It says if one family is very active or parents have higher exposure jobs, then the risk increases. But especially, Landon thinks this arrangement could be a good idea, the guy who wrote this, in the woods where you're not going to have a lot of contact with other people. If the house is in the woods, that's a good thing.
Right. I think it's, we say, well, we do have friends going, but they are staying in their own house. So we won't be together all the time. But I think it's the same. Even if you're on vacation, just think to assess the risks.
Yeah.
And then decide.
Well, it actually says, if you're going, he suggests talking with the other family beforehand to make sure you share the same expectations for the precautions everyone will take in the 2 weeks before arrival and while you're there. 2 weeks before your arrival.
Right.
This is something to think about before traveling, to really be safe before the travel.
Right. And so, some places you'll go, you'll have to go through the screening. You'll have to get your temperature taken. And then of course you have all the questions that they ask. And of course I feel like I just got my hair done. So I had to answer all the questions but I felt fine. So it's hard to know. I mean, of course the people are concerned, people who are asymptomatic, and there's a lot of concerns, I mean, everyone had masks on, which was great, but still, if people are more comfortable staying home this summer, then maybe it's a time to just do day trips and go hiking and do things outdoors and
staycations. Can you help with staycations at Storied Adventures? If people called you, would you help them do a staycation?
So I'm always happy to provide information or give people resources. So I'd probably point them in the direction of a website or something, because something like that, you wouldn't need me for that, but I'd be happy to talk it through, to give people ideas.
And what about going, like Jay is thinking, going across the country or something? You're going to need to make those decisions about where you're going to stay, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep, exactly.
And is there a list, sort of like, they have that list for the best doctors in America or whatever. Do they have a list about safe places now? This place is safer than that.
I would bet if you Google it, there's probably someone has done that. But I think that what they're trying to encourage companies to do is just to have a protocol in place for cleaning, for turnover, for everything. So it's going to be company by company, but I think there are probably some standard precautions in place for the industry. The industry, they're working together. The hotel industry, the cruise industry, they're working together to come up with protocols.
Is there a website for the entire industry or someplace where you get the outlook for traveling in America or traveling, period?
Well, I think it could be. I mean, I read Travel Weekly, which is my industry publication. It's online. Anyone can find it. It's travelweekly.com. And it has all the industry news. And it really gives you a lot of great information about what's going on in the industry, what's going on in the world in terms of reopening. And so if people are interested in that, they don't find it boring, but to go there, and you can find a lot of that information there.
Yeah. I belong to budgettravel.com. I think it's another one. And they're always sending me information about that. And you could probably go to the government. Is the government list states that are unsafe?
I don't think they'll say unsafe. I think it'll be more like how many cases are there, what precautions are in place. I think you could probably Google that and see nationwide, because you can see how many cases are in Massachusetts, how many are in Westfield, and then you'll also can see how recently they opened up.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. How long did they open up? Lisa Burns was my friend from the Westfield on Weekends board, was helping us yesterday plant flowers on the bridge. And she was telling me that for the last 2 weeks, because of her job, she had to be in North Carolina or South Carolina, one or the other.
Really?
All right. So I can't, it's one of the Carolinas. she said no one wears masks.
Really?
They don't in Florida either, Bob.
No, in Florida.
Everywhere they go, no one's wearing masks. And,
but there's more outdoor activities in Florida. So, and the CDC has said you're less likely to catch it outdoors than you are indoors.
Yeah. I go through that question all the time in my mind. Do I wear it outside? When do I wear it outside?
In Massachusetts, you don't have a choice really to wear it outside. You really have to. But in other states, you're given the choice whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
I know my feeling about that. Yeah, it's hard as hot, but my feeling is, so I'm not wearing it necessarily to protect me. I'm doing it to protect Bob. I mean, honestly, because of our age difference, right? So when people are wearing masks to protect other people, so that's what I think gets lost, that it's people find it inconvenient, they find uncomfortable, but we're doing it to protect the people we love and our friends and the people in our community. So that's why we're wearing masks.
Yeah, no, I went to my dear friend, Mary Aiken. She's such a love, 103 years old. Denny Aiken's mom died, passed away last week, not of COVID, but just of being elderly. Right. And she had a great passing. But at any rate, I had to attend the funeral. So we went to a funeral service last week. And there were 100 at St. Mary's Church. And everything, there were alternate rows, and they even had X's where were you supposed to sit. Well, unfortunately, the family came in a mass and sat right together, and there were like 135 people. And poor Denny was saying, "Geez, we didn't expect to be herded into such a confined space." Well, since then, I've been sort of thinking, I was in that room, and we were very safe, et cetera, but still, I have to consider that. And the people that I meet, I got to wear the mask now because I've been a little bit more exposed.
Right. I went to a wake in a funeral last weekend too. And it's the same type of thing. And and it just sounds harsh, but I was not hugging people. I just decided, and I did feel bad, but I just said, I'm not hugging people right now just because in case for you. Yeah. Because there were a lot of senior citizens there, and I'm, for you.
Yeah. No, it's those decisions we have to make, and we want to. We don't want the cases to spike. They're spiking in 22 states and stuff right now. So you really want to think about that. Going to a nightclub, very high risk. Going camping, low risk. You might have guessed. Letting a friend use your bathroom, high or low risk. What do you think?
Low.
Letting a friend use your bathroom.
I think it's mid range.
You think it's a medium?
Yes. I think because you can wipe things down quickly. You can open the window, turn on the fan.
Well, you
move the air around.
Yeah. Low risk.
Is it low risk?
It's doesn't think it's what happens in the bathroom is going to be sucked out of the bathroom ventilation, and you can clean all the hard surfaces really easily. Here you are again, Janine. You can run the fan, leave the door open afterwards so the air flows. Well, it will depend on who's been in there. I don't know whether I want to leave that door open. Clean the bathroom later, and if you use the bathroom after they go, or your friends use the bathroom, wash your hands. What alters it? If your friend is infected but asymptomatic, it would be reasonable to decontaminate the bathroom after a friend like that uses it, including cleaning the high-touch surfaces of the door, toilet, and sink. Yeah. There you are.
Common sense. Again, we just have to keep things clean and just like with traveling too, the same type of thing. The more people you're exposed to, the higher your risk. And
would you let your kids go to a protest? Regardless of your political affiliations, but would you let your kids go to a protest?
I would, I think, because they're at low risk, really. And if you look at the stats and the people who've been sick, it's very specific. I don't know. It's one of those things. Obviously I worry about my kids. So I don't know. It's a tough question, Bob.
It's a really tough question. It's a really tough question. I think you probably have a talk to your kids beforehand. And if you said no to them, You want to make sure that they understand that your no is more about health than it is about the cause.
Right, of
And
course.
it might be a choice, a thing to sort of talk out with your kids why this is happening, why it's important, why all these people are risking their lives for a particular reason that they think is the greater good, right?
Right.
And that I think it's very important to be transparent that way. So if you say no, now if your kids sneak out on you, then you've got to decide, well, what are you going to punish them with? Maybe you punish them by making them watch a movie about the 13th Amendment or something about the protesting.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that they
we
get
have
upset.
been we have been watching that and doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just started watching. I finished watching 13th. Please watch the thing about the Netflix series. It's not a series. It's an hour and a half. 13th. And I also just started watching the Central Park 5. It's a Ken Burns documentary. Another one that I thought was really very, very good. And I Am Not Your Negro by this life story of James Baldwin. Very, very great.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm listening to a good podcast, 1619 from the New York Times. That's another one you might want to check out, Bob.
What is it called?
1619 and from the New York Times.
And do you write the word 1619 out?
Yeah, the numbers.
The numbers. And what is 1619? Oh, Juneteenth.
It's apparently it's when the first ship of slaves came to the United States.
Oh, maybe the Amistad. Yeah. Oh, very interesting. There, 1619. Hey, Janine Quinn, and we got a lot more to talk about. I want you to talk to Peter because I want you to have your own show. Peter, Janine needs her own show. So will you talk off camera sometime with her? Give her a call. Peter, does he hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't. Oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
Well, I got slots. I just don't have. I don't have a lot of time right now. I've been busier than ever with.
No, but she could produce her own show. Look at, she's a Zoom expert.
Yeah, if she delivers me if she uploads me a video, sure. Yeah,
I could do that.
Yeah.
There you are. There you go. All right. Well, we solved that problem.
Yeah.
Hey, Janine, if people want to find you, where do they find you?
They can find me at StoriedAdventures.com and Storied Adventures on Facebook. And I'm starting a daily travel tip, live travel tip on Facebook starting July 1st, every day for the summer. So tune in about 9:00 in the morning and I'll give you your daily travel tip.
I love it. Look, I want you to be safe. We'll see you next month. We look forward to everybody wear your masks out there. And I would say, Janine, StoriedAdventures.com. We will look forward to a concert perhaps coming up by JPEG Luca and Gaslight Entertainment. And the next outdoor concert, when is July 18th, I think. And is that right?
Third Saturday in July will be the next movie behind the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Third Saturday in August.
You got to make reservations. You call the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
For that.
Or go to the website. Then we'll do another movie in third Saturday in August. And then watch out for a drive-in concert coming to the same field behind the Boys and Girls Club.
Isn't that great?
Cool.
Wow. Isn't it cool? Yeah.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Vera Lynn died. She was 103, just like lovely Mary Akins. And she was the one who made the world feel safer by her songs during World War II. Such a British woman. And I'm going to play Vera Lynn's We'll Meet Again from the 40s. I love this song and the sentiment. We will meet again, incidentally. Be safe out there. Wear your mask. Thanks, Janine. Thanks. Jay and Peter. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know where.